Hello, I am Anthony David Hobbs. The original Star Wars film was not perfect. There were some bloopers, but one blooper that I've never heard the fans point out, and it's this. Han Solo and Luke Skywalker disguise themselves as stormtroopers when on board the Death Star, because of course they have to blend in. They don't want anyone to know about this secret mission they're doing, yeah. And then after they get rumbled and they take the helmets off and think, what the hell, you know. And after lots of shenanigans, they managed to save the princess. Obi-Wan Kenobi, his mission on board the Death Star is to deactivate the power beam that's holding the Millennium Falcon there, the tractor beam. So he has to find the reactor for the tractor beam and turn it off. He doesn't wear any disguise at all. He wears all his Jedi robes. Now, in this time period, Jedi are supposed to be extinct. If you wandered around dressed as a Jedi, you'd stick out like a sore thumb. I mean, how can anyone not have noticed him, considering the hundreds of people that work there, but, well, there we are. I guess, so long as you don't notice at first viewing, it doesn't really matter. And here we have two Star Wars action figures. I'll explain the significance of them in a minute. This is a review of the Star Wars Holiday Special, and I was a bit reluctant to do this one, but I did say I'd review all the TV and movies that were to do with Star Wars. Well, and it is awful. One thing all the Star Wars fans agree on is the Star Wars Holiday Special is without a doubt the worst thing ever to come out of Star Wars, yes. It's so awful, in fact, that George Lucas himself has denied that it even exists. Yes, okay. The Phantom Menace was a bad movie, but The Phantom Menace is a masterpiece compared to the Star Wars Holiday Special. If you're thinking, if you haven't seen it and think, is it as bad as the fans make out? No, it's worse. It's absolutely abhorrent, yeah. But it was broadcast only once on American TV in 1978 of November. Now in those days, not everyone had a video. And even if they had, Star Wars hadn't been released on video yet. So the only way you could see anything to do with Star Wars while you're waiting for the next Star Wars film is this, a TV Star Wars thing. So, it's not actually that bad. I mean, it is bad, don't get me wrong. Basically, the plot concerns Life Day. Now, the reason it concerns Life Day is because a lot of people, including myself, assumed Star Wars was set in the future. But it isn't. It's set thousands of years in the past. I presume a group of intelligent humans from Earth made a spaceship, didn't tell anyone else on planet Earth, went to this other galaxy far, far away, settled down there, and had no desire to return to Earth. Earth is long forgotten about. And that's why there's no references to Earth culture at all. Yes, Star Wars really makes you feel like you're in this alien world. Hence, at the beginning of each film, it says, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, yeah. In other words, there's no Christmas. This can't be a Christmas special, because this is thousands of years before Christmas started, yeah. So in spite of the fact it's a terrible TV movie, they did make the effort to make that accurate, yes. They are not on their way to celebrate Christmas, they're on their way to celebrate Life Day, which is like their equivalent. Han Solo and Chewbacca in the Millennium Falcon, they use a lot of stock footage from the original movie as they're flying about. They're on their way to be reunited with Chewbacca's family to celebrate Life Day. And they've never missed one Life Day with Chewie's family, yeah. They also use, as I said, they use stock footage. They also use some footage from deleted scenes from the original film. So yeah, that's pretty cool, yeah. And, well, basically, the Star Wars Holiday Special would have been good if it was about 20 minutes long. A fairly straightforward plot. After lots of obstacles from the Empire, Han and Chewie eventually get to Chewie's home, and they celebrate Life Day. But because it's an hour and a half long, it's not worth the wait. Yes, it's not worth sing a little song about Life Day and put lights on the life tree. And okay, Princess Leia, yes, the actress Carrie Fisher, she could sing well, yes. And as I said, it's an hour and a half long. We have the original actors, Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and James Earl Jones, the voice of Darth Vader. Yes, we have the real McCoy, yes, the original cast. But they're only in like little snippets for about a minute and then disappear, then come back a long time later for a minute, then disappear. So their total airtime is only about 7 minutes, if that, and the thing's an hour and a half long. So yes, you feel a bit ripped off at that. Why does it take so long? Well, because there's lots of comedy sketches in between, yeah. And they just appear for no reason, yeah, to stretch out the time. It's all just filler, basically. Lots of really bad comedy sketches for filler. We do see the hologram chessboard, but instead of monsters, it has little acrobats and stuff. So it makes you feel like you're in something to do with Star Wars. We have a rock and roll band that sing a song that's a half decent song, but it's just very random, like it's appeared out of nowhere, and there's nothing to do with the story, even though the plot's very weak. Yeah, we have that bloke from the Blazing Saddles thing. He's in drag, playing an alien woman doing some sort of cookery show, making a bantha broth. Then we see him again playing like an android, doing instructions on how to make an electric toy or something, and it's bad jokes, basically, very bad jokes. Why are the jokes so bad? Well, maybe because they were playing it safe. They wanted kids to enjoy it as well as grown-ups, so very one-dimensional humour. But the jokes are too babyish for kids. Yes, they played it a bit too safe. The jokes were so babyish and so one-dimensional, kids wouldn't find it funny, much less grown-ups. But in spite of what I've just said about appealing to kids, there is one very disturbing, controversial scene where Chewie's father, or father and also an old Wookiee, is watching holograms of a sexy lady, I don't know, trying to hypnotise him in a sexy way. Wait a minute, he's a Wookiee, and that's a human. They're two separate species. No, they shouldn't feel sexy. No, that's disgusting. That's not funny. It's disturbing and controversial, but not funny. This is Howard the Duck territory all over again, yes. So, really bad jokes, inappropriate humour, random humour that's nothing to do with the main plot. It's pretty awful. I've only seen it once, but because it's so dire, I couldn't watch it all the way through. I had to watch it in segments of 20 minutes, yeah. However, the one thing all the fans do agree on, the one thing worth seeing, a very short cartoon, and I mean very short, I think it's less than 10 minutes, the first ever appearance of Boba Fett. So yes, that's pretty cool, that's good to see. And yes, the animation was done by the same animation company that did the Droids cartoon and the Ewoks cartoon. So yeah, that's like a good connection there. There are moments, but they're few and far between. That's the best way I can describe the Star Wars Holiday Special, that isn't very special. These are two Star Wars action figures. Unless you're a die-hard fan, you won't recognise them. They had very small parts in the Star Wars movies. And but that didn't matter, because Star Wars films, the trilogy, was so unbelievably popular, anything to do with Star Wars would sell. Well, not literally anything, because the Star Wars Holiday Special was tanked, it was a huge bomb, a flop, a disaster, and has never been repeated. The only way to see it is on YouTube, yeah. So, for me, the Star Wars Holiday Special, George Lucas could learn from mistakes, yes. Even if you've made the most successful movie of all time, the spin-offs, there has to be some goodness. Not as good as the film, but it has to have some decency, and it has to be planned out better. In other words, what would Star Wars look like if it was on a much smaller budget and very badly planned out and very rushed? It would probably look like the Holiday Special. Okay, thank you for watching. I'm Anthony Hobbs, and I'm never bored.